Hello, everybody. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today on our Facebook Live session. I'm Shireen, the CEO, founder of Nima, and we're joined by a very special guest who is Kevin, also happens to be my husband, and it's to present the Nima Love edition of Facebook Live. Kevin and I don't typically celebrate Valentine's Day. Is that true, Kev?
No.
But for Nima, we do.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot to be thankful for, a lot of love in the air. Before we begin, I have a quick trivia question for all our viewers. We have an internal code name for both the sensor and the capsule, and we want to know what you guys think it might be. Here's one hint: animals. Should I throw out another hint to make it a little easier? No, that's it. That's all you're getting. Okay, so if you have any other questions, remember, type them in as we go. We'll have a jam-packed session for you guys, really talking about our love story and testing some of this delicious candy in front of us. Also, if you guess the right names for the sensor and the capsule animal code name, you will win a $5 Amazon gift card. So it's going to be epic. So today's Valentine's Day. Right?
Big day.
Big day.
Yep.
And we wanted to take this moment to celebrate the love that is in the air today, that you have for yourself, for your partner, for your family members, for your community. There's a lot to be thankful for, and we're so grateful for all of your love and support to keep Nima, going. And we surveyed our earliest customers who pre-ordered Nima. Get this. Okay, 55% of them ordered Nima for themselves.
Wow.
Well, what does that mean?
45% ordered it for someone else.
Wow, you're so good at math. I love
some
you.
good math, yeah.
So that means that 45% bought Nima for someone else as a gift.
Yeah.
And we found that, so who are those people? For children, for their partners, for family members, for a friend. These are people who are thinking about their loved ones because they want to go out and enjoy eating out with peace of mind. And maybe it's secretly selfish because they also want to have a good time. And
Definitely.
Nima brings a better time at the dinner table.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
This number really hit close to my heart because roughly half of the people who purchased Nima did so with the intent of supporting their loved ones. And starting the company 4 years ago with Scott and I over the past 4 years, we couldn't have done it without the love, your love, the love of our friends, the love of our family. So thank you. And as you know, Nima is for gluten to start, but we're also developing Nima for peanut, and essentially want to get into whatever people care about to give you that instant information. Kevin.
Shireen.
Many of our community members live with a loved one who is sensitive to gluten or actively avoiding gluten for whatever reason. What was it like when we first started dating? And you found out about my dietary needs. Was that a red flag?
Well, at first, I actually didn't know what gluten was.
Come on.
I didn't.
You just rolled with it? You're like, oh, gluten.
Well, you said wheat, oat, barley, and rye. I said, okay, I see what we're talking about now. So that was the big adjustment. I didn't even know what gluten was. And then I realized, oh, so no beer, which is tasty. So that was a big adjustment.
Well, that it didn't mean you could have eaten gluten.
Well, but now I don't eat gluten, so.
Why is that?
I feel better.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
I do, actually, yeah.
And what was it like choosing restaurants? Do you remember where we went on our first date?
We went to a really cute restaurant on Tahoe together.
On Lake Tahoe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't even remember. Do you remember what we ate?
No. But
No.
how about the process of just choosing restaurants?
Yeah, well, you have to go and check on Yelp and see, you search Control F for gluten, see if they're like friendly for gluten and accommodating.
Yeah.
Maybe call ahead to the restaurant and see, hey, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, she's got an allergy, so.
But you were thinking your future wife, weren't you?
Oh,
From
yeah.
day one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Do you recall any horror stories when you're just trying to take care of me?
Well, one time I went shopping at the store and I bought these ginger snaps. And there are two kinds of ginger snaps. One are gluten-free,
Yeah.
and the other's not gluten-free.
Right.
And they look almost exactly the same.
Why do they do that?
I don't know. So I bought the ones that were gluten-free, and I served them
Full of wheat.
full of wheat. You ate them, and one of our friends ate them, and she's also celiac.
Yeah.
And it was not a fun night.
No, it was
not a fun night.
she has celiac, and I'm actively avoiding gluten. It was not a fun night.
No.
Yeah, so it was a horror story that you created.
It was all my fault. As always, it was all my fault.
No, it was the packaging fault. Do you remember any restaurants that just make it super easy for us to dine out at?
Actually, one of my favorites, because we travel to Boston a lot, that's where my family's from.
Yeah.
And Legal Seafoods.
Yeah.
At Logan Airport.
The Logan Airport, yeah, they do a really good job.
They have an amazing gluten-free menu. They're very accommodating.
Really savvy.
Yeah.
And we do our diligence every time we go there.
Absolutely.
And Nima has tested there a bunch of times, and it's always been gluten-free.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the years, have you learned any personal tricks or secrets when dining out with someone who has a dietary, issue? Or...
I've learned a lot about dining with you over the years. And
what's the main lesson?
The main lesson is don't be afraid to keep asking questions of the waitstaff. Honestly, we were at my sister's wedding.
Yes.
And there was salmon, and it had soy sauce.
At your sister's wedding.
My sister's wedding.
Did I hold back?
No.
No.
You actually almost asked to go back into the kitchen with the waitstaff yourself because you didn't believe the waiter.
And did I have reason not to believe her?
You did, because she hesitated when you asked if there was soy sauce.
Yeah.
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 So don't be afraid to keep asking and making sure you get the right information so you can eat safely.
And don't be afraid to use
your Nima.
Yeah.
That's right. Of course.
Speaking of restaurants, another type of love I want to give a shout out to are all the restaurants and the staff that have been so accommodating in reaction to using Nima. When members log Nima data in the Nima app, they're able to provide a score on how accommodating a restaurant staff was given their gluten-free needs. And we found about 40% of labeled gluten-free food items are actually coming up positive for gluten, even for that one tiny sample. So that could mean for cross-contamination or a direct ingredient. And the majority of those restaurants have been so positive in their response and been so supportive and trying to figure out where did this potential breakdown in communication come from. So of a 3-point score for accommodation, currently the restaurant average in the app is 2.5. And as a reminder, this app is available on your iPhone. It's iOS available. We're working to make that available to all platforms soon. Oftentimes the chefs come out asking about Nima and how they can get one for their restaurant to better maintain control over some of these points of cross-contamination. And we've heard many community members saying that they've been kind of hurt from restaurants before, but now with Nima, they can avoid eating foods that make them feel sick. So based on the data and the feedback, many chefs have their best, your best interest at hand. And Nima has been really well received in a lot of these restaurant experiences. Kevin.
Sure.
We've taken many trips together. We've been very lucky.
Very lucky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we've also worked in some foreign countries together, such as Vietnam. So what cities or countries would you say were easiest for our situation together? Our situation being a lot of my food intolerances. And what cities were hardest, you think?
I would say the easiest places were like one of the ones you mentioned, Vietnam and Thailand and Southeast Asia, because there's a lot of rice, almost all the food's rice-based. Actually, in Mexico, there's a lot of corn-based food products. That was actually pretty doable.
Yeah,
pretty doable. I'm trying to think where it's been tougher. It's getting better. It's really getting better. More and more places that you go, there's reasonable access to good gluten-free options.
Right.
Yeah.
But remember pre-Nima versus post-Nima? There was a difference.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference, yeah.
It was just really hard to eat out. And
yeah, you would basically just bring your kind bars. You'd bring like granola bars with you. You'd have if you went on a trip, you'd have like a whole pack of them.
Yeah.
Just so you knew you'd have something to eat.
Now I still take them, but not as many.
You don't have to use as many.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I have some data here from some of the top cities from our community members who've been testing Nima, and some of the top data density in the app we have from San Francisco, New York, Los Angeles, and Boston. We encourage members in other cities to continue to test and help seed our community. People would love to see what other people are testing, and we'd love to feature your city coming up in one of our upcoming newsletters or Facebook pages. Also, I want to address one of the questions up here. So plans for milk was the question, and peanut is next in development, and we have plans for milk that'll be after peanut and tree nut, so estimated 2018, but it's certainly in development and top of mind for us. And now we're going to go to my favorite part of the show where we have to run a test. We have some chocolates here that say gluten-free on the packaging, so you can see here not necessarily certification, but just a small gluten-free symbol. So we're gonna have Kevin help me with these, testing these kisses, and we wanna go through sort of best practices. Sometimes we see users get really ambitious about how much food they're putting into the capsule. It just takes a tiny, tiny amount, a piece, almost a half a pea size of the chocolate is all you need to put in the capsule. And so we're gonna run a test here. Another best practice is, sometimes there might be something on your hand if you had handled some gluten, or maybe there's even some lotion or something that might interfere with the test results. So as a best practice, we say, use a clean spoon and try not to really get too handsy with the food when you're trying to put it in the capsule. So here we go. I'm taking a little kiss, and I'm taking you can see I'm taking a little, scraping off a little bit, and you can see how much I'm putting in. It's really, really tiny amount, if you guys can see that. And I'm putting it in the system, and maybe a little tiny more. And then I'm going to take the cap, and then Kevin, you're going to get started on your end. We already sort of set you up here.
Okay.
So here's a spoon, here's a capsule.
Perfect.
So we can run our Nimas simultaneously.
Okay.
And then the action of closing this, remember there's a green circle here. I'm going to close it all the way till that green circle disappears, and you have to use a little bit of force. You heard that pop, and then complete that rotation. And that's the best practice in terms of activating the capsule. I'm going to put it into the sensor, turn it on once to activate it, and then turn it on again. So 2 clicks to start running the test, and then you see the starburst go. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to have these go. And again, as a caveat, all our best units are to our customers. So these are our beta units that we get to use internally. So hopefully we'll get some good results here. All right. So you've seen me take my Nima everywhere.
Definitely.
Everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
Yeah. And what has changed for us going on dates or traveling now that I have my Nima and I test my food?
Yeah. Well, it feels much more liberating to go out to eat now with Nima.
Yeah.
Because you can be empowered with that information.
Yes.
So many times you go out and you'd ask the wait staff and they wouldn't be sure, and you'd say, okay, maybe I'll take a chance. But now with Nima, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever seen me leave a meal hungry?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we find gluten, right?
Yeah, if you find gluten.
Yeah.
So then I get to go home and make more food for you at home. We call it my 4th meal.
The 4th meal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd rather be, a little less satiated than get gluten bombed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's no fun.
The capsule price. We had a question about capsules and a comment on how the capsule usage is. So capsules, they come in a pack of 12, and so you can get a subscription, for frequency of use. They're roughly about $5 per capsule, depending on your subscription model. And that is, we think, 1 per meal, 1 per test. And you can if you have a plate, you can put multiple things from your plate in 1 capsule, but again, keep that amount really, really, really small. And in terms of usage, we see people using it 1 to 2 times a week, in those instances where you're really you want that extra data point. And again, we're just delivering information about 1 data point of this kiss. It's not going to guarantee every kiss in that bag is free of gluten or every lot number. So we really encourage people of testing, every lot if you're testing packaged foods. A comment that the capsules are hard to close. I love that feedback. Keep that feedback coming. We're always working on making this experience as easy on you as possible and easy to use. One of the reasons why the capsules are a little challenging to close is the action of closing really triggers the whole chemistry process in there. So we needed to have some really, really strong mechanism to trigger that. But if we can make it easier to close, we've heard that feedback before, and we're always thinking about ways to do that. All right, so it's still processing, right? Nima's still going? Okay. Let me see. Yeah.
It's almost
still
there.
going here. Yeah, about halfway on some of them. All right, we have another question coming in here. Cross-contamination. The question was, does Nima pick up cross-contamination? And what we can say is that for the sample that you test, Nima is tuned to 20 parts per million. So it's, it's very, very, very sensitive. And we found that sometimes, yes, I mean, if there's gluten in that sample, we're gonna tell you. And we found that we've done some tests where we have, a knife that cut a gluten loaf, and then it cut the gluten-free loaf, and we tested the edge of that loaf and tested that there was that cross-contamination present in that sample. So it can pick it up if it's present in that sample that you're testing, but again, remember, it's just that one sample, and you have to think about if it's representative. Okay, we got some smiley faces here.
Yay! Looking over to kisses.
2 kisses for 2 happy faces. All right, we're gonna bring that up. We asked our audience earlier about what we can call Nima and the capsules internally in the office. The hint was animals. Any last minute answers? We can give you a few more seconds here. And while we're getting in those last minute guesses, some questions about gluten-free expos. So we will be at the following expos. I'm just confirming we will be there: San Diego, Austin, Chicago, New Jersey, Minneapolis, San Mateo. All over the country, so you guys have an option to interact with Nima, bring some food you want to test, and you can see Nima in action. Okay, any last minute guesses? Kev, do you have a guess? You don't know, do you? I don't think
I might know.
You know?
I might know.
Oh, okay, you can't guess then.
No. I don't want to ruin the surprise.
No. It's a great surprise. All right, the unveiling. We call Nima Roo, short for kangaroo, and the capsules which go inside the baby, the joeys, like a baby kangaroo. So here's the mama Roo, and here's the joey that goes inside the capsule. So Roo and joey is what we call the system. And speaking of little baby joeys, I've been asked more frequently about these days about my growing belly, and we're having a little Joey of our own, a little Nima baby. I'll tell you what it's not going to be named. It's not going to be named Nima. But we're continuing to work so hard here at Nima so we can provide you the best experience and create that community and keep getting that feedback and making this product the best experience we can. So thank you again for all your ongoing support. One last question here. Favorite gluten-free dish that I was surprised by that was actually gluten-free. My favorite gluten-free dish that surprised me. I have to say, I test a lot of fries, and I think that every time I get a smiley face from a sample, it's pretty exciting. Because
the smiley face on here is 10 times bigger than the smiley face on
this. Yeah, so I think it's the fries. Okay, so I think that any other questions here on Facebook Live? All right, if any of you are thinking about getting a Nima for a loved one, including yourself, gotta love yourself, we're offering a $15 off Nima sale on nimasensor.com. Use the promo code LOVENIMA spelled out at checkout. Show the sign right here. I'm showing it. All right, thank you so much, and see you next time on Facebook Live. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we love you, and Kevin, thank you so much for coming. You're the best.
It was a blast.